Good evening, my darling batlings. I'm happy to be here with all of you tonight, because,
Billy Mays here.
Yes, hello, JKR. Got OJ? No. OJ's dead and buried. He's been dead for a while. I thought you were aware. Sorry, obvious joke. Had to go with it. So, yeah, I've mostly had a boring day today, so I'm glad to be here trying to finish up Ninja Gaiden, tonight. So I can finally move on to a different Ninja Gaiden game. And, other than that, I finally got into, like, you know, full-on, hard-working editor and recording mode, so I've been making some progress on that Doom 2 video. Spent most of last night and part of today working on it, and I've got about 7 minutes of it done so far. Still no estimate exactly on how long it's gonna be. Depends on how long I drag out certain bits for. What drink do I want? Depends. Are we talking about soft drinks or are we talking about drinks? Give you time to respond to that here. Also, JKR says apparently he's developed a reputation in Cutie Pie Rin's chat. Is it a good reputation? I hope it's a good reputation. Any I want. I did like the, I'm not sure what brand it was, but it was a whipped cream flavored vodka that I tried once, and didn't get to drink much of because that's a whole other story that I'm not going to get into because it was kind of traumatizing, but I remember liking the taste. Anywho's it? Let's make sure I unmute the console audio first. There we go. And we'll switch on over here. Stop the Megas music before it gets me too copyright claimed. That was Can't Stop the Top by the Megas, which is, if you're not familiar with the Megas, they are a Mega Man inspired and themed band where they take the different level themes from the Mega Man games and make songs out of them from the perspective of each boss. And that one is Top Man's theme, and it's him bragging about how you can't defeat him. And how he's totally gonna kick your ass because you can't stop the top. Off to the store without pants because JKR stole them. Okay, to be fair, they say no shirt, no shoes, no service. They don't say anything about pants. So you should be good. I keep clicking emulators instead of games. I need to get used to this UI. Yes, it's a good one. Apparently, I'm known for making a grand entrance and a grand exit in her chat so much that she actually asked me to make a grand exit. Oh, so you stick out to her as well, not just to the chat. I don't know where I'm going with this, so I'm gonna stop there. I was about to say something, but I'm like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Alright. Oh, and speaking of other streamers, and before I go, I got caught up with Ven from Japan. Ven from Japan. I don't know who that is. But I'm glad to hear that they're doing well, whoever they are. That's not their streamer name. I don't know who you're talking about. Alright, when we last left off, we had defeated Doku and Alma, but with Doku's dying breath, he cursed Ryu to become a fiend. Because Ryu does have some fiend blood in him. Up, gotta get rid of these not the tonfas, the Vigorian flail. That's what it is. You don't get the tonfas until Ninja Gaiden 2, I believe. As part of this Ninja Gaiden retrospective, what's going to be interesting is when I get to Ninja Gaiden 3, because that's the one I haven't really invested much time in. And I only know it by reputation as the worst of the trilogy. Alright, what do we have here? Let me guess, it's going to spawn fish. Oh, Great Devil Elixir. Never mind, no fish. It's like when I go over to JKR's and they ask me what's for dinner. Just no fish. Damn it, fish! I tempted fate. At least this is a good place to grind yellow essence, I guess. Fuck. There's no end to them. Die, fish. Oh, at least I unlocked the door. I totally didn't check Discord. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm not that stupid. I'm only mildly stupid. Next, you're gonna be telling me that Gullible's written on the ceiling. And joke's on you, Gullible actually is written on the ceiling. I got that from my art teacher. I'll put Gullible on, like, a piece of paper and have it stuck to the ceiling. So whenever someone tries to get me with that, oh, it says Gullible on the ceiling thing. Hey, Coffee Pod, hello, how you doing? So, yeah, so I'll have Gullible stuck to the ceiling on a piece of paper. So whenever someone tries to say their Gullible's written on the ceiling to make fun of how gullible I am. Yeah, it's the 2D model that Shiba made for me, and I got it re-rigged by Nakauji on VGen, who I totally recommend for budget rigs. They also offer more extensive rigs, but I was on a budget. Let's see what Dai's Diary says. I guess you could call it a diary. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. February 1st. As a member of the Black Spider Clan, I will fulfill my mission and gain the respect of our clan leader. I have promised so to Gen, and I will not break that promise. Stop talking. You're mean. February 21st. I have been badly wounded, but I have obtained the key to the core. I do not have much longer. I must get this to Gen.
What is a
Yap Alonso, thank you for the raid. I finally figured out that you probably said this earlier, but I finally figured out that you're on the Eldenwood team. Sorry for not really saying anything in your chat earlier when I followed you earlier. Just I was in the middle of editing a pretty intensive video and saw that you were live and wanted to return the favor for all the times that you have raided me. How'd your stream go? You were playing Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, right? You finished it, nice. I remember playing, like, the original GameCube version of Thousand Year Door a little bit when I was in middle school, because I rented it, never owned it, and I can't remember how far I got. I know I got to one of the parts where you control Peach. For like a little intermission, sort of. But yeah, I need to get back to playing Thousand Year Door, because my buddy Chuck has been begging me to return to that one since he gets a kick out of joining for those streams. I also need to get back to doing that Transformers game for PS2, Call of the Future. Alright, so the sword for these guys, and then I'll break out the Vigorian flails for the fish. And grind some essence. How much essence do I have? Almost 27,000. Oh. This should be good for a while. That should buy me a couple of Great Spirit elixirs. Okay, you, sir, you're going down first. Go fish. No, do not go fish. The fish are what keep killing me. Ah! Okay, I went in unprepared. But yes, I'm glad to hear that you had a good stream. I hope I can catch you sometime so I can return the raid favor. Also wanted to say to Yap Alonso, if you're still here, your model is really nice. I love it. Did you make it yourself? Ah! You did make it yourself. Nice! I made my 3D models myself with V-Roid and some various assets from Booth. And my 2D model was made by my channel artist, Shiba. You've been working behind the scenes on an even nicer model? Ooh, can't wait to see it. I would ask for some details, but I don't want to get spoiled. Mega Man Burger's here too. Nice, the whole gang's here. Assuming we get to Ninja Gaiden 2 Black this weekend, turns out it'll be a perfect time to stream it because they just came out with their first big patch for it. That fixed a lot of issues and added a new game plus mode. You have to work on the model reveal campaign, since for the price of one campaign, you get a grand total of 2 models. Oh, I've never done, like, one of those kind of campaigns before. I'm too impatient when it comes to having cool stuff to show off to people. I just want to show it as soon as possible. But, like, I wish I had the patience to do, like, a grand build-up to a model reveal. Because, you know, 1, it would be a good way to engage the community, and 2, it would be good for analytics to get some engagement on social media for it. You know, with my content creator brain on. Is that our last fish? Please be our last fish. It's the last fish! Fuck you, fish. Don't fuck the fish. That's how you lose stuff. I've seen the thing from Piranha 3 Double D. I know what happens when fish get involved. Okay, but do Zoras really count as fish? They're more like... I see them more as, like, mermaid-type things, but, like, without... They go for, like, the humanoid fish thing as looking humanoid, but, having a lot of fish features instead of just human upper half, fish lower half. Yeah, I know that Zoras are fish people. I played Zelda. I've beaten Breath of the Wild. I know that people are thirsty for, Sidon when Mipha's the real MVP there. I know that because, even before I had played Breath of the Wild, I went to a, local convention. I brought it up before, Animazement. And at one of the tables, they had a Sidon t-shirt that was done in the style of the Rosie the Riveter posters that said, "We can do it." And I got it for a friend of mine who had, like, a huge lady boner for Sidon. You may be straight, but Sidon's a power move. I may be bi, but I totally would. I would both of them, though not at the same time. That would get too weird. Honestly, I felt something more for the Zora Lady in Echoes of Wisdom. I haven't played Echoes of Wisdom yet, and I also haven't played much of Tears of the Kingdom yet, because it took me forever to finish Breath of the Wild. It's one of those games where, like, I would get super into it, and then I would, like, take long breaks from it before going back to it. So, because, like, I don't know why. I guess it's the, as I call it, the dual wielding of autism and ADHD that I'm blessed with. You haven't finished it yet because it's a case of I don't want it to end yet. That's how it was for Breath of the Wild with me. And I didn't even do, like, all the stuff that was in Breath of the Wild. There's so much that I missed out on. But I did do, like, all the main story stuff, at least. But there's so many side quests I missed out on. I also kind of hard-moded some of the dungeons by not getting, like, all of the armor pieces that are recommended for them. Like, I did the Gerudo dungeon. You know, the Gerudo Divine Beast without the rubber armor. So I did that one on hard mode. Oh my god, the dinos are back! Time to do what Rachel didn't and kill the dinosaurs. I felt like, you know, that worked as a better joke in my head, but no, that is literally just what happened. You really enjoyed Echoes of Wisdom, though? Maybe one of your faves? See, I'm in a weird place as a Zelda fan, because I love Legend of Zelda, at least, like, you know, its world and characters and stuff. But there's a lot of the games that I just haven't played or, like, haven't beaten. Like, the first Zelda game I ever really played in depth and beat was Four Swords Adventures for the GameCube. And I beat that single player. I didn't have access to friends that had their own Game Boy Advances and Game Boy Advance to GameCube link cables, so we could do the intended 4-player campaign. But, I just like the whole Four Sword Saga in general. Minish Cap's another one of my favorites. It has my favorite version of Vati as far as, his roles as a villain go. I would love to see him get a 3D debut. Because I feel he's a really underrated, Zelda villain. I also haven't legitimately beaten Ocarina of Time because I've told this story before, but I got Ocarina of Time on the GameCube, that re-release. I found it at GameStop when I was a kid, even though it was one of those games that you weren't supposed to be able to trade into GameStop. And I picked that up, and that I had an action replay for my GameCube, which was, if you don't know, if you're too young to know what action replay was, it was a cheating device. It was a disc that you would put in your GameCube, and it came with its own memory card, and that memory card was loaded with, like, hex edits that you could run in the game as it launched that let you do all sorts of stuff to either cheat or, just make different weird stuff happen. And I used that to basically, like, skip most of the campaign and get to, the final fight with Ganon, because, that was the part I always saw my friend Miles playing at his house. And I wanted to do it for myself. Although I feel like a lot of people treat Ganondorf poorly, I don't like how the fandom depicts him at times. See, part of that is that Ganondorf, I feel, hasn't, up until very recently, hasn't gotten much time for, like, character, like, a display of his character beyond just being a tyrant. To my understanding, Tears of the Kingdom goes a more interesting angle with him. But, like, for a lot of Ocarina of Time, like, you know, Ocarina of Time, just most of Zelda in general, he's just the bad guy, rather than, like, a fully fleshed out character. And, you know, Nintendo does like that with their villains. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of Ganondorf fans that want to see more done with Ganondorf. Then again, I'm not active in Zelda community discussions, so I may be talking out of my ass. You're probably a simple guy, but you like bad guy Ganon a lot. I see, I misunderstood then. You're on the opposite end, where you're like, correct me if I'm wrong, but now that I know what you're saying about you like bad guy Ganon a lot, let me guess, you don't like how the fandom tries to, like, you know, humanize him or be like, you know, he's just misunderstood. Whereas the way he's depicted in the game is like, no, he's an unrepentant monster. No! Fish! No! I wish I knew the combos for the Vigorian flails so I could use these better. But spin to win seems to work a lot. And yeah, I can get by humanizing him, but I don't think he should be misunderstood. Yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from now. Yeah, like, I'm one that likes, you know, I like my my villain origin stories and, like, you know, Start of Darkness stories, all that kind of stuff. But not every story necessarily needs that. Like, a good example from something I've, you know, within the past year or so been getting into is, with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you don't need some sort of, like, tragic origin story for Dio. Dio's just a shit. And that's all you need. Why is he a shit? Because he thinks he's better than everyone else. That's all you need for that kind of villain. Not everyone needs to be like some misunderstood, poor, unfortunate soul. It can make for good stories, but it depends on what kind of story you're trying to tell. I mean, Dio still had an unfortunate childhood, but, like, yeah, he had an unfortunate childhood, no doubt. But, like, he's not fixated on, like, his daddy issues. He's just like, I'm better than everyone else. You will kneel before me. Yeah, it only validated his visions of the world. It didn't, like, make him the way he is. He was already like that. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm definitely right about this. See, do we bother upgrading the wooden sword? I know what the wooden sword gets you if you fully upgrade it, but it's like, at this point in the game, do I really want to? Well, first of all, I'll buy some healing items, because I need those. And then I'll see how much I can, I'll get a Talisman of Rebirth, too. It's honestly intriguing. Dio is that villain you learn the most about in the series, which makes sense. Yeah. It's like there's a bit from an old Zero Punctuation review back when Zero Punctuation was still a thing. Some Starburst, some chips, a soda, a fry. Nice. That sounds like a good snack haul. Snack and or drink haul. Welcome back, Kier. But yeah, there's a bit from an old Zero Punctuation video where he was reviewing the latest Thief game, the one for the PS4 that was like around the PS4's launch, the one that nobody liked, and he talks about how, like, the Thief games, like, give a very basic explanation for why Garrett, I believe his name is, the protagonist of Thief, is a thief. Whereas, the Thief reboot game tries to, like, you know, make a Batman-type character out of him. Where the way he phrased it, and I feel like this applies to Dio, too, is, like, damn it, fish. The way that he phrases it is like, if you were to ask Garrett from the old Thief games why he steals, he would say, because I'm poor and living in 18th century London sucks. And I'm stealing from rich people because fuck them. Whereas if you were to ask Reboot Garrett, he'd be like, because it's what I do. Whereas, like, I feel like it's like, you know, you ask Dio why he's trying to take over the world. It's because the world sucks, and I'm the only one who can fix it, and I'm the only one who deserves the right to fix it and make it in my image as its ruler. Whereas, if you were to ask Ganondorf like, why he wants to rule Hyrule. It's like, because I deserve it. That's all. I should do it because I deserve it. And like I was saying, sometimes that's all you need to make a compelling villain. From a storytelling perspective. It all depends on what role you want your villain to fill, rather than necessarily all your villains needing to be like, you know, some really deeply thought, not necessarily deeply thought out. That's a bit of a wrong terminology there. You don't need to have some sort of like Freudian excuse for why the villains do what they do, depending on what role you want the villain to fill and what kind of villainy you want them to engage in. Yeah, there's no need to explain your villain. And I feel like, you know, as much as I have contentions with Ninja Gaiden for not having much of a story, for a lot of its, well, a lot of its story that's, like, told through a narrative. A lot of it's told through, like, flavor text. Its villains fit a compelling role because it's like, why did Doku steal the Dark Dragon Blade from Ryu and massacre his clan? Because the Vigoor Emperor sent him to do it. Okay, why does the Vigoor Emperor want it? Because he is basically Satan incarnate and wants to wipe out all who oppose him. Why does he want to do that? You don't need a reason. You don't necessarily need a reason for that. Once you've reached that level of villainy, you don't need a justification. And similar to that, in a, you know, as someone who is very into Devil May Cry, a lot of the villains are like that, except for Virgil, of course. Virgil's has a lot more complexity to him than he lets on. But with villains like Mundus or Arkham, it's like why do they want to obtain ultimate power and or wipe out all humanity, whatever their goal is? Because they're fucking evil. You don't need all these sorts of, like, deep justifications for all the stuff that they do. It's like, they're just so drunk on power that, they're beyond any sort of rational justification for what they do. That's all you need. With that logic, how do I feel about Megatron? It depends on the Megatron incarnation that you're talking about. I like a lot of the modern attempts of, for lack of a better term, humanizing him, by exploring his backstory and tying it in with the origin of Optimus Prime. I love that narrative. But it doesn't work for every incarnation of Megatron. Like, you try and pin that with G1 cartoon Megatron, it doesn't work. Because G1 cartoon Megatron is just a megalomaniacal conqueror. Why does he conquer? Because he feels it's his right. And for that more simplistic narrative that G1 is going for, that works. You don't need anything deeper than that. Does it add more depth to his character if you explore what made him the way he is? Yes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there for you to like or appreciate him as a villain. It all like I have been saying throughout this spiel, It's all about what kind of story you're trying to tell and what role you want the villain to fill. You shouldn't, you know, I don't pride myself on my writing skills unless it comes to, you know, essays rather than, creative writing. But you don't necessarily need, like, my ideal approach for writing villains, if I were to write something with, like, a narrative structure to it, you know, more creative writing, is, I wouldn't write the villain's origin story first and then figure out how it's going to play into the narrative. I would settle on the narrative first, and figure out what kind of villain I need, and then flesh them out from there based on what the story I've planned out calls for. I feel that a problem that a lot of up-and-coming writers fall into is that they have these grand ambitions for, like, fleshing out every single character in the story, and it ends up creating a narrative that's too convoluted. Or either that, or, like, especially when it comes to, you know, wanting to write the next great iconic villain, it makes it so they focus more on the villain than they do on the main character. And as a result, the villain is more interesting than the character that you're supposed to be focusing on and rooting for as a reader of the story, or as someone consuming the narrative. Whatever form it takes. A trap I'm falling for, which is why I'm skipping it for now and marking the extra stuff as lore more for backers and DLC. Yeah, now, that's not... I say that, it's not like, you know, a rule that you must always follow, because, again, I don't claim to be an expert on writing. I'm not going to, you know, not naming names here, because I'll get targeted by her for daring to mention her name, but I'm not going to put out 100 writing tips and claim that, they are something that every writer should follow, even though my writing is shit. If you know, you know. Like, whenever you're looking for writing tips on, like, how should I approach writing this story, well, look at what kind of story you're trying to write before looking for, advice on, writing a cohesive narrative. So yeah, that, sorry to go silent for a second there. I was trying not to get wombo comboed to death. But yeah, there's your writing tips from me, someone that doesn't write narratives, but, has taken their fair share of English lit classes, and, has, had many friends throughout history that do creative writing as a hobby, and as something that they want to get into. You know, I'm not going to claim to be the expert on this, but there's my very unexpert opinion. Honestly, between us and chat, I've been wanting to do writing tips for lore and such, help those that want to make stories. That would be really good. I feel like when it comes to, like, trying to do any sort of, like, video or post or whatever about, like, tips for writing stories, the key to it so you don't become the next target of internet mockery is to be humble about it. You don't say that, like, this is the definitive way to write a good story. You're like, here's some advice from my experience of how you can make a story more compelling or easier to follow or whatever. But it's not necessarily, like, my rules for how to write a story. Like, they aren't rules that you must adhere to. They're, suggestions. The best way to do that. It's like, be humble about it and be like, these are suggestions based on my approach to writing stories. They may or may not fit what you do. But, they're still worth, you know, looking into a little bit. We got into some interesting discussions tonight, even though, that's not all what I was planning on. That's why I like my chat. We go some interesting places. First step thing I want to even say is you don't need fancy lore like a cat girl with the 27th dimension and a tragic backstory. It can be a cat girl from our world. Yeah, you know, going into something that's not at all known for, its, like, deep and thought-provoking narrative, but I think still does a great job at making its world really fleshed out and feel realistic, is Monster Musume, where, you know, at its core, it's a harem romance comedy with lots of booba and lots of fan service. But, the author clearly put a lot of thought into, okay, what would a world where humans and monsters coexist be like? And from a scientific and social perspective, what would each of these monsters be like, and how would they have to adapt to our world when they're outside of their native environment? I love that stuff. It's not shoved in your face most of the time. It's just like a sprinkling of, you know, a hint at a greater world beyond the confines of the protagonist's perspective. Alright, we've got that portal that takes us back down. And then God, I'm so excited. We're in the home stretch, boys, girls, and everyone in between. A message is written on the plaque of the pedestal. He who wishes to pass must offer proof of his divine acceptance. Next to a message is an image of the demon. Okay. Marbus, there you are. Oh boy, here I go killing again. Rhaenyra with her legs and being a spider, and that little girl learning that she isn't a pet or a plaything. Yeah, you get, like, bits and pieces of, especially in the later chapters of the manga, of, like, how that world works and how different people respond to it beyond just what you see in the anime, especially. But, like, I think that's a great approach to world building without making it the focus of the story. It's just, like, a little sprinkling of, like, almost fun facts about, you know, almost like trivia-style stuff. But it makes the world feel more fleshed out without having to dedicate a lot of narrative time to it. Oh boy, the tentacle monster's back! It's a good thing Rachel's not here to get attacked by it again. Rachel's just kind of out of the story for now. Since, you know, her whole arc of her and Alma is finished. I mean, for my VTuber lore, whenever I get around it, is basically combining elements of Megatron and Skynet. That, yeah, I like the idea. Especially since not even just limiting yourself to Megatron, like even with Skynet, since Terminator's got like so many different incarnations of Skynet and timelines and stuff, there's a lot to draw inspiration from and form it into something you like. And, you know, I see a lot of discourse about, like, oh, this person just did X thing from this series, so they're a hack fraud. And I'm like, no art is truly 100% original. Everyone draws inspiration from something. You look at Star Wars, it recreates exact shots and elements from Buck Rogers and Akira Kurosawa films. You look at Indiana Jones, and that's just a direct throwback to old adventure serials from the 1940s. Hey, Cloud. Or be someone who got crushed to death by a vending machine and isekai'd into another world. Hey, at least that's more creative than getting hit by a truck. I say that right after I say that everyone draws inspiration from something and that you don't have to worry about being 100% original. But the amount of isekais that involve getting hit by a truck. Think about it. If Yu Yu Hakusho was hit today, that car that hit him at the beginning of the first episode wouldn't have killed him and made him a ghost. It would have sent him to another world.
You're not as weak as I thought.
Also, Cloud, you'll be happy to hear that Momiji makes... Since I know you're a Momiji enjoyer, Momiji's going to be in the next Ninja Gaiden game on the docket, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. She only gets one level, but she makes the most of it. And you know it's Momiji in 4K. So, yeah. Momiji in Unreal Engine 5 at 4K. Oh yeah, new Digimon story game? Yeah, Kier told me about that before stream. I'm excited for that. Hopefully it gets a better localization job than the previous ones did. Because those were, like, a real fucking mess of mistranslations that just got worse as the stories went on. Or at least Cyber Sleuth was. I didn't play Hacker's Memory yet. I'm not even talking about, like, when I say bad translation, usually you get people that are like, oh, they changed the meaning of this joke, or they translated this they localized or the proper term is romanized, a character's name differently than what the fan sub said, so it's ruined forever. I'm like, nah, there's just straight up parts where the character is clearly saying bakemono in the Japanese audio, which means basically monster. And because the localization team was apparently, I'm guessing they were rushed, or like not given the time and budget they needed, you have it translated as Bakemon, which is not just a word for monster, it's a specific Digimon that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. Yeah, Cyber Sleuth was fun, it's just the localization was shit. Also, PlayStation losers, I'm getting ahead of myself. PlayStation users stay losing, because, Cyber Sleuth's not available digitally on PlayStation anymore. And for whatever reason, Bandai Namco won't put the complete edition out on PlayStation internationally, even though it's there on there in Japan. I don't know why. Bandai Namco's weird. Specifically when it comes to Digimon. Like, it's on Switch, it's on Steam, not on, PlayStation. You could still buy Hacker's Memory, but you can't buy Cyber Sleuth. And, if you buy it physical, which is, the only way you can do it now for the PlayStation version, you miss out on a lot of the stuff that was pre-order exclusive DLC that's included as part of the complete edition 2-pack. Also on Steam, you can take out the censored stuff. They didn't really censor much. Most of the censorship was more down to, like, real-world companies rather than, like, anything sussy or graphic. The only thing that was just straight up changed that I don't see a reason for changing in the international version was changing, Sistermon Noir to Sistermon Ciel. It's like, basically they changed the evil nun to the cute nun. And it's like, you still get the nun Digimon, but like, why not the sexy evil nun? She's still in the files, all you have to do is like, put a simple mod in there to get her back. The Angelomon and Lady Devimon combo Digivolving was censored, you think? Not really. Still very much lesbian coded. But yeah, most of the things that were changed in the international version that don't involve, you know, bad attempts at translating stuff was, like, Shibuya Records in, the Japanese, in, the international version was Tower Records in Japan. But that's a real-life company that they would have to get the okay from to use in the international version. So they just, like, changed the name but kept the location the same. Can we talk about how, like, Lady Devimon and, Angelomon's DNA Digivolution is kind of perfect in a really underrated way, because you get like the kind of cybernetic themed angel and the very goth leather mommy coated devil, and they fuse into a cyber goth mommy. You've been playing World of Final Fantasy for fun and realized Tifa has her flashback outfit on. I honestly forgot how cute the game is. I haven't played World of Final Fantasy. I don't know all that much about it other than it's got a cutesy art style. Can I leave hell, please? I killed the devil. Can I leave hell? Oh, that's how I leave hell. You heard, Mommy? Oh, look up Mastamon if you don't know what we're talking about. It's a fusion of two childhood awakening moments for a lot of Digimon fans. Angelomon and Lady Devimon. You don't think I'd like it if you had to be honest? Fair enough. There's a lot of Final Fantasy stuff that just doesn't click with me. I don't click with Final Fantasy 3, especially the DS/3D version, because the difficulty scaling in that is shit. Also, I've just heard that Final Fantasy 3 in general is not one of the better Final Fantasy games, which, you know, as one of my first, was quite a kick in the nads. We can try Parsec or something, and I can try it out and see if it's up my alley. Okay. Yeah, we could give that a shot. I need to know, like, what exactly you do in it before I decide whether I'm gonna try it out. I do need to get Parsec set up for, some other, multiplayer stuff with you and some other people sometime, Kier. I need to get Parsec set up, with, Duck Station, so me and you can, have some one-on-one matches in Evil Zone. My favorite bad fighting game. If you guys aren't familiar with Evil Zone, oh boy. It's, what if your, one-on-one fighting game that's trying... What if your one-on-one fighting game had every attack be done with a single button and directional inputs? And not even, like, you know, your Street Fighter directional inputs where it's, like, you know, quarter circles and stuff. It's, like, just forward and attack, or back and attack. And what attack you did depended on how far away you were from your opponent when you pressed the buttons. That's Evil Zone. You have like, you know, your 3D movement, because it do be a 3D fighting game. God damn it, I died from the fucking fish again. And, you have one attack button and one block button. Oh, and also, every character in the game is, a caricature of different anime stereotypes. Like, you've got, you know, the fan-servicey ninja girl, you've got the, hot-blooded, delinquent, schoolgirl, you've got, you've got the, demon-possessed, the demon-possessed rocker. You've got, God, what else? You've got a guy that's just straight up, like, one of the, Metal Heroes, characters. I think it's, like, Space Sheriff, God, I forgot what that series is called. Like, one of the Metal Hero series that was adapted into VR Troopers. You've got one of those guys. And, it's like just anime stereotypes fighting each other, and they put, like, going back to the storytelling, they put way too much thought into their world building. Because, for this, like, very basic, very plot-light, fighting game, you've got, like, an entire unlockable encyclopedia with shitloads of entries of stuff that you would not get unless you bothered to stay and look at every entry in the encyclopedia. Oh, and every fight in the story mode is presented as an episode in the anime that your chosen character stars in, complete with episode previews and title cards. I got my copy signed by Paul Eiding, thanks to JKR. Because he voices one of the characters you can play as in that game, the Galactic Bounty Hunter Galley Banish Gregman. He was at EVO one time too. We need to sit down and watch those fights. Was it at EVO? I don't think it was at EVO. I know Dong Dong Never Die was at EVO once. It was, like, not officially part of the lineup, but it was something you could play on the sidelines. Dong Dong Never Die is another game we need to play together. I know, one fighting game that, like, Kier, I know you're a lot better at, you're a lot better at fighting games than I am because you've spent a lot more time practicing them and, you know, playing them in general. I know an old school fighting game that I think we'd be, two old school fighting games that I think we'd be at pretty even ground on, due to the fact that nobody is good at them. One is a PS1 fighting game called The Masters Fighter. And the other is Dino Rex, that dinosaur fighting game I showed you with the best running animation for a Triceratops ever. Matt McMuscles recently did an episode on of his The Worst Fighting Game series on Dino Rex. And, God, hearing someone who's a pro at fighting games talk about Dino Rex is interesting, because it just doesn't play like a fighting game should, and it doesn't have the excuse of, oh, it was one of the first, like a lot of old fighting games do. No, it came out in, like, 92, 93. It came out after Street Fighter 2 and was made in response to Street Fighter 2. You really want to play that Dino game with me? If we both get it on Steam, I believe it's on Steam, we can do remote play together. But, yeah, the only other way we would be able to play that, since I have it on PS4 and, the Arcade Archives games don't have, online support, officially, is, we'd have to get together in person, which, hey, that would make for a good, two-person stream, playing some competitive Dino Rex, to see who's the best dinosaur tamer. Oh, another mechanic about Dino Rex that I didn't tell you, Kier. because I didn't know about it until recently, is it's got sort of like a type matchup system, like it's Pokemon or something, where like certain dinosaurs that you can play as take more or less damage from others on the roster, and it makes no sense which ones are stronger or weaker against others. So as a result, there's just certain dinos on the roster that are just objectively not good to play as, because they're weak against too many others. Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, if we could get Parsec and MAME set up with it, we could totally play that multiplayer. Why am I thinking about playing it through the official release when we could just do what people have done for years and play it through MAME? You don't want to name drop, but sounds like a piece of shit, you know, kind of game looking for weakness characters to play as. If you're talking about Darkside Phil, you can just say it, because he'd still lose anyway. He's comically bad at fighting games, despite starting as a pro fighting game player. Now, am I saying I could beat him at fighting games? No. No, I'm not. I'm not stupid enough to say that I could beat someone who has a history of pro fighting games. Not at him, the guy's really toxic and even harasses people. Oh, are you talking about Low Tier God? Or is it some third, infamous fighting game, community person that I haven't heard of? He also rage quits and fights too. Oh, so is that, yeah, towards Low Tier God or towards someone I haven't heard of? Sorry, time delay makes it a little hard to figure out. You can't stand him. So it is Low Tier God, I guess. Yeah, he's different than Darkside Phil in that Darkside Phil's just, like... He's obviously just in it for the money at this point. Like, he's aware that he has a whole hate community, which is, part of why I no longer associate myself with that community, because they're just feeding into his grift by giving him more attention than he deserves. But also it's fun to meme about how, like, he's outlasted so many other people in the online content creation space, despite nobody liking him. Darkside Phil, at least, not Low Tier God. Like, I understand people taking fighting games seriously as a hobby, or even as, like, a thing that they do to make money, or as a sport. But when it comes to, like, making it personal and, like, threatening people and harassing people, doxing people, all that kind of shitty stuff, it's at some, you know, at some point you've got to be like, dude, it's just a game. Like, I hate to be that condescending asshole. Whoa, who am I kidding? I love being a condescending asshole. But at some point, you have to be like, bro, it's just a game. Calm down. Just take it to, you know, fitting since Rooster Teeth is back from the grave. Have to use one of my favorite quotes from a Rooster Teeth production that has been one of my favorite quotes since childhood. Take a chill pill, bro. If you can't take it, if you don't have time for a chill pill, take a chill strip. Put it on your tongue, let it dissolve, chill. Well, there goes my talisman of rebirth. Damn it. Okay, so I'm a little less prepared for this fight than I thought I was. But I'm sure I'll be able to do fine. It's not too difficult. It's basically 3 fights back to back. Alongside, you know, having to get to the top of the tower. You guys should have seen my response to these. When I was playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black for the first time and I saw these fucking fish come back. Like, of all the enemies from Ninja Gaiden 1 to bring back, you bring back the ghost fish. Oh, fraptious day. Alright. Time to place the final statue. Demon, deity of destruction. Wait a minute, is that the same demon statue that's in Ninja Gaiden 2? Or is it a different demon statue? I need to look at the... I need to put those two models side by side. Because Ninja Gaiden 2 gets a little fucky with its chronology. I totally spazzed out and forgot where I'm supposed to go next. Oops. Oh, up here. Please let there be no more fish up here. I've had enough fish for today. No more fish, please, sir. You're gonna make me pescophobic. Surprise, fish fingers. Welcome to the realm of Vigoor. And say hello to Vigoor, the emperor of the Vigorian Empire that we've been building up to this whole time. The, basically the devil of this, of the Ninja Gaiden world. There he is. Doesn't look much like an emperor, does he? Also, he's just not much of a character, sadly. Having played the Devil May Cry series by this point, when, like, I played Ninja Gaiden Black before I played Devil May Cry 1, I can definitely see, like, okay, Itagaki was definitely taking some stuff from Devil May Cry 1 at the very least. Like, you look at this and you're like, okay, we get it. We get it. You saw, Mundus. I can see the clear inspiration. You just don't want to admit it, because you're kind of a prick, to my understanding. Why so blue? Because he's been cursed by Doku to turn into a fiend, and killing the Vigorian Emperor is the only way to free him from the curse. Coincidentally, he was already going to do it. Attack its weak points. Alright, that's its arms done. Now I'm gonna go for the chest. That seemed... Why is the Emperor have titties? Okay, so is Vigoor, like, a non-binary icon? Or a, intersex icon? Do we stand the Vigoor Emperor? Yeah, Devil May Cry Beautiful Joe all take place in the... Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Beautiful Joe take place in the same universe, depending on whether you're talking to Kamiya or whether you're talking to Itsuno. Because only the stuff that Kamiya's worked on has had, like, semi-official crossover stuff. Whereas, like, Devil May Cry with Itsuno onward has made no direct tie-ins to Beautiful Joe and Bayonetta. It's sort of like Kamiya, he doesn't like to claim ownership of stuff that he didn't work on. So he tries not to put his own headcanon into it. It's more like they're cheeky nods to each other. So it seems my immune system is still fighting off the virus. I hope you feel better soon, JKR. Oh no, someone get the trumpet out! It's a Skelly boy! Okay, let's try that again. I knew we were overdue for a death.
Doot, doot, doot.
Doot, doot, doot. I mean, I've been asking this question about Adele from Final Fantasy VIII. Are they a man because of the model or a woman because of the name and the fact they're a sorceress? Answer, we don't know because it's none of our biz. See, that's the correct answer. It's none of our business, so we shouldn't pry into it. If they want to share with us, they will. Also, yes, whoever said in chat earlier that the boobs are a weak point, you are correct. I didn't notice that before of all the playthroughs I've done of this, which admittedly is not many, but still. Alright, attack her titties. Or their titties. I'm going with their just, to be safe. I don't want to misgender a literal physical deity. God, the frame rate is just trangling here. I know that's not the correct use of the word trangling. And I know that trangling's not a real word, but still. Alright, I feel like the Vigorian flail is going to come in handy here. And also some quick heals. Let me go, let me go! We can do this. Just believe in me, chat. Give me your energy. Like we're making a spirit bomb. Except it'll actually do something for once. Let me rephrase that. It'll actually do something outside of the movies for once.
No!
Okay, that was cheap. On brand for Ninja Gaiden Black, though. And yeah, everything does a lot of damage in this game. It's not just this boss. Everything does shit tons of damage. Which reminds me, I should probably use the armlet of the moon for this, just to lower damage at least a little bit. Nice job, Kier. You were that 1% we needed for that spirit bomb. Hell yeah, he's got unlimited energy. Because he's powered by spite. Apologies if I don't respond to chat for a minute. Just, trying to focus on killing a god here.
Or else I'll have you dismantled for scrap. Then I'll launch what's left of you straight into the sun. Understand?
Then we'll piss on the moon! How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot! Thought I could sidestep that one. Not so much sidestep as, like, side fly, I guess. Oh, I can attack during that cutscene? Okay, I'm abusing that next time if I don't make it through this round. There we go, got some pot shots at his head. Ah! I'm sorry, the fuck? I think I did worse with the better protection this time. And don't take that out of context, you degenerates. Can I have a bite of your sandwich? Thank you! Eats you. The way he, like, chomps on the way to grab you. Also, that voice crack, holy shit. The way he, like, chomps on his way to go get you makes me just picture him going like, it's like in Clay World when the guy was just pouring a tube of Pringles into his mouth and he goes, I imagine that sound coming out of his lack of a vocal cords. We need to do a reaction to it. We need to do a Clay World night. Because so many people don't know Clay World because they weren't in that, specific era of the internet. Where's my snipper rifle? I got it. What you doing with a snipper rifle? Listen, I need you to be my secret snipper. Hey, lifeguard, can we go in the pool? What? We can't understand what you're saying. I said, God, what is the hitbox on that attack? Jesus. Okay, as I'm doing this, I'm also making note of when I'm allowed, I should say, to pause and heal. Because since you can only heal from the pause menu, the game is set so during certain... It's like the opposite of iframes. During certain parts of attack and recovery animations, you're not allowed to pause. Okay, I'm doing better this time. I may have to get up at some point to go eject the contents of my stomach orally, because today was my weight loss shot day. And anyone who knows me knows what that means. Okay, new strategy. Just spam Nimpo when he's going to do that bite attack. Okay, need to work on my timing. Also, one of these. I don't want to use all my healing potions here, because I got one more fight after this. No! Out of the lava, out of the pool. Pool's closed. Oh, that did big damage. Okay, I know my strategy from now on. It's a cheap strategy, but fuck it, it works. Oh, You've come to face me, mano a mano! There we go! I might be able to... Let's see if I can beat this before I have to go thrup. That'll be my new accomplishment, rather than, beating the game before the battery dies in my controller. There it is. The sword we've been looking for. Please let there be a save point here. I don't want to have to go back and do that again. Hey, Master Ninja! I didn't deserve that at all, but fuck it, I'll take it. Ryu has defeated the evil Vigoor Emperor, and the Dark Dragon Blade is out of reach of the fiends. Now Ryu must quickly escape the depths before the cavern comes crashing down on him. Yes, there's a save point. And let's re-equip the True Dragon. So, okay, so I've got that equipped by default. Good. I don't know if this is timed or not, and I'm not about to check. Okay, it's not. By the power of... Well, the skull's gone, but... Still! Hey, there she is! Please don't fall, Rachel. You've had troubles in this game, admittedly. I would rather not see you end up as a pretty stain. Come on, you can do this, Ryu! Okay, we're almost there. You can do it. Grab onto the booba, Ryu! Or her legs. Either one's good. There's plenty of nice places to grab onto, Ryu. As long as she consents. Remember, unlike in comedy pervert anime, grabbing someone without their permission is not a funny haha accident. It is a crime. Oh yeah, remember the Dark Disciple? Remember him?
I expected nothing less. However, the power of the Dark Dragon is wasted on you.
Don't you see? The Dark Dragon is now truly an evil blade. His Excellency, the Dark Disciple, has been waiting for this very moment.
You've done well, Gamoth.
Oh well. Bye, Gamoth. And now, Ryu, I am your uncle. The guy from the beginning of the game, Uncle Mirai. Also, yes, that is Robin Atkin that was Robin Atkin Downs.
No objection.
Remember how he said it's a shame that you're not allowed to use the Dark Dragon Blade because it's too evil? Yeah, that was all a setup for this. See? They did the thing of foreshadowing their villain all right at the beginning without outright telling you. The funny thing about Gamoth having a German accent is he's supposed to be Japanese. He's supposed to be from the Black Spider clan, which get a bigger focus in Ninja Gaiden 2. You can do this. All right, one more strike. Boom! That was easier than I thought it would be. Well, looks like you're not getting that Dark Dragon Blade anytime soon, JKR. And now my job here is done. But you didn't do anything, Ayane. Kiss her, you fool! Ryu, you could have had Rachel, but no, you had to go with someone way less interesting. Remember, canonically, he marries the girl from Ninja Gaiden 2, who's way less interesting than Rachel is, in my opinion. I must go now. My planet needs me. And that was Ninja Gaiden Black. Holy shit, that was normal difficulty, by the way. I haven't beaten this game on anything above normal. This I would still say is the definitive way to play Ninja Gaiden 1, even though Ninja Gaiden Sigma is more readily available and includes extra content. The balancing and the challenge that's associated with Ninja Gaiden 1 is really only present in Black. And, yeah. As these credits scroll by, I can say comfortably that on Sunday we'll be starting Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the new Ninja Gaiden 2 remaster that just came out a little over 2 weeks ago. Also, that was Neil Ross as Mirai. And I saw Richard Doyle in there as someone too. I'm seeing a lot of crossover between Transformers and Metal Gear voice actors in this small cast. And Travis Touchdown is there for some reason. Well, I say Travis Touchdown, he's also Kaz. Oh yeah, and part of the credits, they had a tournament for like who could get the highest score before Ninja Gaiden Black came out in the old online leaderboards for vanilla Ninja Gaiden. So here is the leaderboard of everyone who made it through the Master Ninja Tournament. Hey, thanks for following! Tell me, I have to know, how is your name pronounced? Is it Marchin or Markin? Or Merkin? I've never heard it pronounced, but I love your DJing streams. I try to tune into those as often as I can. Thank you so much! You've turned me on to so much new music through your streams. Mershin, okay, so none of them were correct. I know how to pronounce them, though. I know how to pronounce your name now, though. Mershin, thank you. I love your streams. I love your avatar. It's so pretty. I love your taste in music. God, I'm fangirling over Mershin. But yes, thanks to you, I had a Falco playlist going on when I was on my way to class today, and had a little discussion with my music appreciation professor about Falco and his relationship to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, since today we were talking about the classical era of music, and Mozart in particular. As, you know, a lot of Americans would probably only know Falco for Rock Me Amadeus. But there's so much more to him than that. Ah, God, I could go on about music for hours, but I don't want to just yammer on and annoy you guys. Austria reveres him. Yeah, to my understanding, he's mainland Europe's Control-Alt Minuit. Control-Alt... Is that Minuit? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce names based on their spellings. Thank you for following. Minuit. Okay, so it's a French word. Got it. Okay, so he's with you. Thank you both for the follows. You tuned in just as we were finishing up Ninja Gaiden Black. Oh, and we unlocked a costume, I believe, as well. Let's see what our final rank is. Head Ninja, okay. Not quite Master Ninja, but Head Ninja's still good. And yeah, there we go. I'll show you guys real quick the new costume that we unlocked. Also, we unlocked Mission Mode, the movie theater, and we've got the coming attractions, which I believe is just a trailer for Dead or Alive 4. Because this came out right when the 360 was getting ready to come out. I've actually never played a Dead or Alive game. Yep, Dead or Alive 4 trailer. Let's see it in crusty 480p. Well, not too crusty. It's upscaled to 1440. This was... anyone that knows Dead or Alive, this was the game that introduced Kokoro, right? Because I remember seeing Kokoro in a lot of the preview material. I was like, oh my god, this girl's so pretty. But yes, yeah, to my understanding, Falco was revered as like mainland Europe's David Bowie. If my, recollection of the One Hit Wonderland episode from Todd in the Shadows on him is anything to go by. Second only to Mozart. Yes. Yes, because, we wouldn't have Falco without Mozart. That's why he dedicated a whole song to him. You never played DOA, you only know that there was a beach volleyball game in the series. The beach volleyball games are their own sub-series, apparently, that's just focused on, like, fan service. Whereas the mainline games are 3D fighting games akin to, like, Tekken and the like. But with a lot more, as you can see, a lot more emphasis on, jiggly bits. If I remember correctly, like I said, never played Dead or Alive, but I saw a lot of magazine coverage for it back in the day. Dead or Alive 4 was the one where you could play as a Spartan from Halo. Not specifically Master Chief, but an original one made up for this game, because they couldn't get the rights to use Master Chief. Because, like, there were specific limitations on how he could be portrayed. Ma'am, I'm pretty sure that jacket would not stay in place like that. No, wait. I know cosplayers. I know how she's doing that. She's using tape. Oh no, again with the skeletons. 3 bottles of super glue. Yes, super glue applied directly to the booba. What could possibly go wrong? Master Chief not allowed near boobs. Sure, let's go. You know what? That's my new canon reason for why he wasn't allowed to appear in Dead or Alive. It's not because it would create lore inconsistencies with Dead or Alive taking place in the modern day and Halo taking place in the future. It's because he's not allowed to be near women breasting boobily everywhere. He's not allowed to be around. He's not allowed to be around women unless they're holograms or wearing at least 70 pounds of power armor. So yeah, that was the coming attractions. We got mission mode. And then real quick, I'll just show, yeah, we unlocked hard difficulty. And we got a costume. We got this, which is, I believe this is a doppelganger enemy type that only shows up in the harder difficulties. Yes, it's one of those kind of games where certain enemies only show up if you play above normal. And we are not about to do that, because this game kicked my ass on normal already. Although I guess, as one final thing before we sign off for tonight, I can show you that easy mode mockery that I told you guys so much about.
The evil.
Because that only happens in this game. And it would be a shame if I didn't get to show you. So all you have to do is die at least 3 times on the first 3 levels. So I'm going to get up to this first encounter up here a couple times, and then die over and over until we get the option to enable easy mode. And then I'll show you guys just how brutal some of the mockery is without having to do a whole second playthrough. Like, even from just the beginning, it mercilessly makes fun of you for having to play this game on easy. Go ahead, kill me. Attack me. No need for mook chivalry here. No way an option for game reviewers. It's still kind of hard on easy mode, though. And one interesting thing to come out of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black coming out is
No.
that was a little delayed, but okay. I guess Sound Alerts is having a little bit of the slows tonight. But a lot of the comments on people playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is like they're trying to play it like it's a Devil May Cry, and they're complaining about their inputs getting eaten or like input lag, when it's like, no, the problem's not that there's input lag, although there certainly is some input lag, but that's not the problem. It's that it's like a fighting game. You're locked into certain animations and you can't really cancel out of them, unlike Devil May Cry. That's part of what makes this game so punishing, and it's also what the combat is entirely built around. Is like, in order to block, you have to stand completely still. In order to dodge roll, you have to hold block and then hit the analog stick, and that gives you iframes, but only for certain parts of the roll animation. Like, a lot of the negative reviews I've been seeing are, like, complaints from people that suck at Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, even more than I do, are people complaining that the game's too hard, or that the game's not working properly. And it's like, no, it's just that you don't understand how Ninja Gaiden's combat works. And you're just unwilling to adapt to it. Can I just jump off here? Will it let me? No. Damn it, I have to wait for these guys to kill me a third time. I swear this is gonna be worth it. This is actually how I beat the game the first time I played it. When I was in middle school. No, high school. Because, I was even worse at games back then than I am now. I've gotten marginally better, I like to think. Although, I've also gotten a lot less patient. I don't know how middle school-aged, unmedicated, untherapized, me was able to, beat Jack 2 on a rental, over the course of a couple weekends. Whereas adult me can't even make it, like, 2/3 into the game anymore. Because I just get fed up with its bullshit. Alright, that should give us the option. If not, then one more. Do you choose to abandon the way of the ninja? Yes. And here we get a special cutscene. Are you sure? Yes. Are you truly sure? Yes.
Understood. Master Ryu, or should I say, young Ninja Ryu Hayabusa. It seems I have greatly overestimated you. Oh well, we have no choice but to proceed. I will support you in every way that I can. Don't be overconfident. Just do what I say, and perform your duties as competently as you can. You must complete your task without fail.
She's 14, by the way, so we're getting lectured by a 14-year-old. Oh, I do have to save.
Understood.
Okay. Can I skip this? Okay. We'll create a new save there. I guess it has to... Okay, so it doesn't have to cache our data again. It skips you all the way into the fortress. You get this new message here.
This gift is the least I can do for you. Make sure you wear it at all times.
She starts talking condescendingly to you when you're supposed to be basically her senpai. And instead of the armbands, you get these pretty ribbons. You get these pretty ribbons that make the game easier for you. And unlike the armbands, they're a lot more noticeable. So you're given reminders that you have to play on easy mode. And it goes further than that. If we, we exit the game... And, oh, not like that. That's not what I meant to do. Hopefully it'll still work. Basically, we're going to see a different title screen. If you remember when we saw the title screen earlier, it was, you know, Ryu posed all badass. Now we get Ayane on the front cover because we are so bad at the game that Ryu is no longer the main character. Ayane is. We are her, and they don't call it easy. They call it Ninja Dog. We are her bitch. This is the only game that goes in the Ninja Gaiden series that goes this in depth with mocking you for playing on easy. And like, yeah, it's mean, it's unnecessary, but it's hilarious. Pulling no punches, exactly. You buy a Ninja Gaiden game for the difficulty. And if you're not willing to adapt to the difficulty, then this is what you get. Also, to the old heads in the audience, which would be my fellow Eldenwooders, if Ayane's voice sounded familiar to you, that is Janice Kawaii, who you might know as the voice of XJ Nyan from My Life as a Teenage Robot. But, yes, that shall do it for tonight. Let's, get out of the void. There we go. And let's see who we're gonna raid tonight. Now that, I, finally beaten this game and can move on to greener pastures. Let's see, who from Eldenwood needs a raid? We are going to raid... Oh, we're gonna raid Toffee Swirl, who is playing The Sims 4. Let me just pull this up real quick. Tactical Dollhouse Simulator. Hell yeah, brother. I hope to see you again soon, too, Mershin and Control Out Minui. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to the Raiders tonight. I'll see you guys on Friday with more Sonic 06. Go give Toffee Swirl the warmest of welcomes. And until next time, unpleasant dreams. Oh, look at Saribod giving us a reminder to stay hydrated. Anyways, good night, everybody.